So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. It is a miserable day right now, but it's the perfect day to do a little test. It has rained all day. Oh, actually, we had a little bit of light snow this morning. And then it rained all afternoon. It's actually slowed down a little bit now. It's just kind of a sprinkle. But people have been asking how our fire starter would work in these kind of conditions. And to be honest, I don't know the answer to that. We're gonna find out. This is the first time I've tried this. I just gathered up some branches. Now I think this wood here, yeah, I think this was dead, but it's soaking wet from the rain. We don't have anything that's split. We're just gonna use some sticks and anything that I found laying on the ground. And we're gonna see if we can get a fire going. If you've tried to start a fire under these conditions, you know it can be difficult. Sure, bro, I got 10 chainsaws in the garage. Maybe not that many, but a lot. Woodpeckers out there working too, I can hear them. Okay, we're just gonna kind of half clear a spot here in the wet leaves a little bit. We'll leave some on there so we're not down in the mud. I'm gonna get some more wood. All right, the rain is picking up a little bit. We're gonna take a decent sized handful of fire starter, because what's gonna have to happen is it's gonna have to burn long enough to dry this wood out really before it catches fire. I'm gonna use my little torch. You can light it with anything. I don't know, we'll see what happens. The fire starter will burn for 12, 15 minutes, but you'll get the biggest flame probably in the first 4 or 5 minutes. That's when it's gonna have to dry this stuff out to get it going. I'm just gonna keep loading it up. It's also a little breezy today as well. Not real windy. We've been getting some gusts, but I don't know. I don't know if this will do it. We'll see. That wood is really wet. Well, I think it's safe to say the fire starter worked really well in these conditions, in the wind and the rain. And like I said, all the wood that we used right here was just laying on the forest floor. Most of it has been dead for a while, as you can see, but it was all rain soaked from the last 24 hours or so. Someone's doing a little target practice. But I did that little test a couple of weeks ago, and I did not want to include it in a video until we had more fire starter available, which we do now. There will be a link in the description and a pinned comment as well. We have both the 1.75 pound bags, and we've got a bunch of the big 4 pound bags as well. And just so you know, a 4 pound bag of that fire starter is going to last a very long time. The smaller bags, the 1.75s, you could probably start at least 30 fires, like in your wood stove. I'm saying at least 25 in your fire pit. You use a little bit more outside. So a 4 pound bag is going to last you a very long time, just so you know. So now we know the fire starter works in your wood stove, in your fireplace insert, your fire pit, your Brio, your solo stove. And now we know it works, you know, for campfires out in the woods or even emergency situations. It works great. I think next up, I want to try it. I know it's going to work fine in this, but a charcoal chimney. A lot of people have been asking about that. So at some point, we'll do a little test with that as well. And we also have some big news for specifically local people that want to buy fire starter. We have it available in our first retail location, and that is at Rath Farms. It's not too far from us. They're a great family, great business. They've got a big cattle farm not far from here. At some point this spring or early summer, we're going to go over there and do a video there. But they have a retail location now to sell their meats and other provisions. Really nice facility, nice people. And coming up soon, we're going to have more retail locations that will be selling the fire starter. And just so you know, we are sticking with small businesses and independently owned franchises. So not going to be any big, you're never going to see it in Walmart or anything like that. I don't want it there. But so you can keep your eyes open for that. We'll let you know. But for local people, go check out Rath Farms. I'll put the address in the description. They've got a nice location. You can pick up some burger, some prime rib, or whatever you want while you're there, and a bag of fire starter. But anyway, back to our normal program. If you saw that last video, we're down here widening out the driveway. We're gonna make a nice pull-off down here. And I got this pile of dirt here. I wanted to use the skid loader to load it, but there's just not enough room to turn here. And then old Blueford let me down. I couldn't get it going. So we're using the tractor and the dump trailer. So we'll have to make more trips, but that's all right. A lot of that old Gia textiles mixed up in here. Alright, that's a pretty good jag of dirt there behind the tractor. All right, we'll go dump this load and we'll come get the excavator out of the way. And then I'll bring the skid loader down, clean up this little bit of mess here, touch up the driveway real quick, just put 1 bucket of stone on there, and then we'll go down below and push those piles off. All right, it's getting dark. I mean, it's not dark yet, but it's getting there. I got this cut all the way back. We need to take a little bit more out of that corner right there. And then what we're gonna do is get about 60 or 80 feet of culvert put across here. And then over here where I have these boulders, we're gonna take all this out of here. And I'll probably kind of high wall that off, and I'll use those boulders plus maybe even mix some limestone goonies that I have as well. Mix that with it. And then if I have trucks come in or whatever, you'll be able to get completely off the road right here. It's kind of what I'm after. But anyway, it's in good shape right now for the rain. I just checked the radar. It looks like about 10 o'clock tonight, on and off tomorrow. So I will report back in the morning. All right, we're gonna pick back up where we left off. I was working on the driveway. That was 2 nights ago. And then right after I finished up, it started raining. Rained on and off all day yesterday. But today is actually a pretty nice day. The sun's shining and there's a nice breeze, which is what we need to dry things up a little bit. If you look out the window, it looks like it's about 70 degrees. It's only 33, but I think it's gonna warm up a little bit throughout the day. Right now, we're gonna head out, and I've got my deck over trailer on, and we're gonna pick up some pipe, culvert pipe for the bottom of the driveway. I don't think I'm gonna install it today. I'm gonna wait for things to dry up a little bit. We'll take a look once we get down here and see. But everything held up pretty well. We had a lot of rain. Water was already going down the ditch, and I just kind of have it roughed in. But yeah, it should work out good. If you remember, we had some big boulders right here and kind of a big hump. I got rid of all that. But this ditch right here, it'll come down around here and out past that recycle bin, probably 7-8 feet past it, is where I'll start that culvert pipe. We're gonna put 60 feet in across the front. I will have to take a little bit more dirt off that corner and then get my ditch shaped in to go over to the inlet of the culvert pipe. In the last video, I had a big pile of dirt right here, and I said I was gonna haul it out and get rid of it. And there's some comments asking why I didn't just spread it out throughout the yard and rake it out and plant grass on it. That wouldn't work. You just have to get rid of it. There were rocks mixed all through it, and sometimes you just have too much dirt and I don't want big humps and bumps all over the place. I like nice, consistent things to be able to mow nicely, and it'll look good when it's done. But yeah, sometimes you just have to take the time and get rid of some dirt. Let's put it out some. Alrighty. Nice trailer. Thanks. Yeah, I like this one. Yeah, try to be careful with it. It's nice looking wood. Yeah. Have a nice day, man. Alright, I got my pipe loaded up. I gotta get in the truck and get warm. Holy smokes, it's cold out there. Like I said, it's 33, 34 degrees, but it's windy. I had to laugh. The guy in the forklift, he complimented me on my trailer, how nice it was. It's funny, almost every time I take this trailer somewhere, someone says it, and it's just your basic deck over trailer. But what I did when I bought it, waited about 6 months, and I pressure washed the deck, and we put about a gallon of that Cabot deck stain on it, just something to help protect it. But it does look really nice, and so far it's holding up really well. It's not like I use it every day, but yeah, everybody always says something about how nice the trailer is. It was a gallon of stain is all it was. Now it's trying to snow. What in the world? All right, it is much nicer inside here today. So before we wrap this up, there's a couple things I want to talk about. Yesterday was one of the first times in a very long time that I had to take a break from reading the comments. See, when we publish a video, say it's at 8 a.m., we all check the comments throughout the day and into the night. You know, just if I take a little break, what I'm doing, I'll pull out my phone, read a few comments, see what people have to say. And don't get me wrong, overwhelmingly, our comments section is filled with normal, sane, hardworking people that are into the same things we are. But yesterday kind of caught me off guard a little bit. We did a video, and in that video, daughter Eva was talking about a game that they play at school called Assassins. I know that's a scary word, Assassins, and they play with squirt guns. And she has a very big school. I think her graduating class is like 800 kids. And so it's all set up. It's very well organized. All the kids and the parents of the kids agree to the terms. And basically you get a target and you have to shoot them with your squirt gun. Now, if the kids at work and their employer doesn't want this game being played on their property, you know, there's lists of where you can go, where you can't go. Like I said, it's very well organized. But anyway, some kid came here the other night and he's trying to shoot Eva, and she gave him the slip. She drove around the building, and it's just a good thing. It's fun for the kids. And like I said, Eva has a very big school, 600 kids, so you don't even know everyone in your class, and this gives them a way to meet more people. And they've been doing it for years and years, and other schools do the same thing. It's not sponsored by the school or anything like that. Now, I knew there'd be a few comments. This one right here, listen to this. What an incredible idea. Children hunting each other. And he uses capital letters, a lot of exclamation points, things like that. In real life, pursuing each other on public streets, on neighbors' properties, in vehicles. What could possibly go wrong? The Biden administration makes far more sense than this. How disgustingly sickening this is to hear. What a school system this must be. The absolute last thing on earth I ever expected to see on this channel. I just couldn't believe that comment. I really couldn't. And what I do sometimes when I see like a weird comment like that, I have the ability, since it's our channel, I can like search for this guy's name and look at the rest of his comments. And up until that point, he was a pretty, you know, pretty normal kind of person, or so I thought. But how disgustingly sickening this is to hear. The absolute last thing on earth I ever expected to see on this channel. You know, we complain, everybody does, about kids sitting and playing video games and doing nothing. And this game that they play now, compared to what we all did when we were kids, I mean, I know what I did. I'm pretty sure I know the way a lot of you probably behaved as well, is pretty much nothing. It really is. And it kind of bothered me knowing that Eva reads the comments and sees this, but she's got a really good head on her shoulders, and she knows with having a channel, there will be things like this that people say. It really took me off guard. And that's not the only one. There are other ones talking about all sorts of nonsense. And like I said, there's tons of rules. Someone said about the chickens walking in front of the kid's car, that could have been a 3-year-old. I don't know what speed you played the video in, but he was going maybe a half a mile an hour, creeping through the driveway. I don't see a lot of risk. I'm sure there's some risk with this game, but there's risk in everything. Everything you do, there's risk. And you either need to live your life or just lay in the couch and watch TV. You know what I mean? And that brings me to my next topic. I get a lot of comments from people. I guess they live in different areas or maybe in neighborhoods. We don't live like in a neighborhood. You know, I don't have a HOA or anything like that. And I got to tell you an HOA story here in a little bit. And I always get these comments like everything that I do, I'm trying to think of one. Yesterday, for example, working down by the road, did you get permission from your local authorities to work there? I am the local authority here on my property, and I understand road right away and all that. Someone else, you need to go see the post office before you move your mailbox. No, I don't. What I'll do with my mailbox, I see my mailman 4 or 5 times a week, and I talk to him. He's going to say, wow, that looks real nice down there, Mike. And I'm going to say, hey, Glenn, I'm going to move my mailbox over here. Is that cool? Oh, yeah, I don't care. That's the way that goes. There is still common sense in the world. And there's still a lot of normal, insane people. Now, sometimes when you're dealing with, you know, local government officials, sometimes you need to coax that common sense out like a scared puppy that you find along the side of the road. You know, come on, it'll be okay. We can talk and just work things out. An example of that is this. We're getting this fence put in, and the contractor said you probably need a permit for the fence. I said, I don't think I do. And he says, well, I'm pretty sure you do in that township. I said, let me go see them. So you don't call them. You don't call and say, hey, I need a permit to build a fence. You go down and see them, and you talk it out. And I went down. I said, hey, I'm looking at your specs here or whatever. I'm not near a property line. I'm far enough from the road. And there's a little discrepancy on the height. Our fence is going to be a little higher than what they like to see. You just talk it out, walk out of there, don't need a permit. You have to approach things the right way. And I see a lot of comments from people, your neighbors must hate you because of the noise that I make. My neighbors don't hate me. We all get along great. And I think my neighbors, I can't speak for them, but I think they really like me actually, because if they need something and they call, I'm there. I don't know where a lot of people live. They must be fighting with their neighbors a lot or something. We don't do that around here. Everybody around here gets along. Another funny story about the HOA thing. I got to tell you this. I could never live under a HOA. I did a job for a guy, and then a couple years later he moved. It was a side job. I think I just did some tractor work or something in his yard, and he bought a new place, and it was a new house, and in his backyard there were these trees that the developer, when they did this plan, left. And they should have been taken out when they moved all the dirt, but they didn't. There's this little island of like dead locusts, dead cherry trees, grapevines, just a disaster. Big mess in there. And not a real big area, but just concentrated mess. And he said, hey, can you get rid of all these trees, stumps, and everything. And I said, well, I don't really want to, but let me see what I can do. So I got to thinking about it, and it wasn't a place where you could burn. You know, there's a bunch of houses all around there. You did not want to feed a chipper that stuff, all those grapevines and thorns and all that kind of stuff. And I said, the only way I want to do this, or I will do this, I'll get like 5 or 6 30-yard dumpsters, and I'll get a mini hoe with a thumb on it, and we'll just rip everything out, stuff it in the dumpsters, and be gone. He said, I love it. Just take care of it. I said, okay. So when I'm leaving, after he agrees to it, he says, oh, by the way, we're not allowed to cut any trees here. I said, huh? And he says, yeah, our HOA does not allow us to take down any trees without their approval or something. I go, well, what do you want to do? He says, I want to get rid of all the trees. I said, okay. So I started on the job, I think the next weekend, and I'm down there with this mini hoe, and I'm just getting after it. You know what I mean? I'm ripping and pulling and stacking stuff in dumpsters. Well, here comes some guy crossing through all the yards, and he flags me down, and I opened the door of the excavator, and I said, what's going on? And he said, hey, you're not allowed to cut any trees here. Don't you know that? And I said, well, you know, this isn't my property. I don't live here. He says, I don't care. You're not allowed to cut any trees down. So I asked him, and he was pretty snappy. I'm being kind here the way I'm saying this. So it ended up, I said to him, what are you going to do? Put me in HOA jail or something? And the point is he had no authority over me. You know what I mean? Now the homeowner, I'm sure he signed an agreement with the HOA. He was ready to do battle with that. So that was on him. But yeah, I had nothing in it. You know what I mean? So I said, I told him, I said, hey, you may want to back up a little bit because there's a lot of stuff flying around here. And he ended up leaving, and that was pretty much the end of it. And I talked to the homeowner later on about it, and it turns out all the neighbors hated that ugly patch of woods anyways, but it was just that one guy with the HOA that had a problem with it. So you have to just try to, you don't have to do anything. What I like to do is just use common sense. Be nice to people, and most times you can just kind of work things out. But I am not a big permit kind of guy, and I know some people will, I'll hear about this in the comments, probably as bad as Eva's squirt gun game, but like this building, for example, I got a permit for it. It was $1,500, and they came out for 2 inspections. Let's see, for the trusses and maybe the posts, or I don't even know what they were. The guy was here, I'm not exaggerating, for a maximum of 3 minutes each time. $1,500 it cost. And in my opinion, you know, some people need an inspector if they have someone building them something. But if you need one, I would hire an inspector, because your township, they don't have anything in it. You pay them $1,500, they come out and look at it. It could blow over tomorrow, or the day after they left, they have nothing in it. It's not like you're paying for an insurance policy. They don't have any skin in the game, but they just get money out of your wallet. So I'm not a big fan of permits in general, but like I said, if you don't have any experience or you don't know what to look for, and say you're buying a home, even if you're paying cash for it, and you're not required a home inspection, you probably want to get a home inspection if you don't know what to look for. But as far as the township goes, it's pretty much just a way to generate revenue, in my opinion. Another good story, this one's funny. Years ago, down here at the wood yard, right out here, as a matter of fact, on this side of the building, this was all trees. And it took me a lot of time, but I cleared all those trees down there. I had a little rubber-tired skid loader, and I started moving a little bit of dirt down there, kind of leveling a spot up. Dug some stumps out, just needed room to work. I didn't think it would evolve into what it is today, but I'm down there moving dirt, leveling up a spot, and just on and off on the weekends. And I was at work one day, and Melissa called me, and she said, hey, some guy from the township's here. I said, for what? She said, wants to talk to you. I said, okay, put him on the phone. So I talked to this guy. I said, hey, what's going on? He goes, hey, there's some activity in the woods down there by your house. I said, there shouldn't be. I'm at work today. He goes, well, not right now, but I could see that someone was moving some dirt or something. I said, yeah, a little bit, you know. And he said, well, you're probably gonna need a grading of lots permit. I said, nah, I'm not gonna get one of them. And so we went back and forth, and I said, I'll tell you what, I'm on my way home. I said, I'll be home about 5, you know, meet me at the house. And he said, we're done at 4. I said, it's 5 o'clock today or it's never, you know, figuring he'd just kind of go away. Well, he didn't. He was here when I got home. So we went down there and looked at it, and he said, yeah, you need a grading of lots permit. And I said, I'm not getting one of those. And he said, it's only $50. And I said, I don't care if you give me $50 to get it, I'm not getting one. It's just the principle of the thing. And I had a little ace in the hole on this one, because just down the road where the brick house is, at this time, that road used to be basically just a dirt and gravel road, and it was always in bad shape, and a lot of soft spots, and the township guys were always down there working on it, and they had been working on it at this time. So anyway, let me back up. So we're down here arguing about me not getting a permit, and I told him to get in my truck, and he kind of looked at me funny. I said, I just want to show you something. So he gets in my truck, and we drove down there to that road where the township guys have been working, and they've got like dirt wind road right off the edge of the road into the stream, just no E&S controls, nothing at all, right? And I said, what I'm doing up there on that hill that's 400 feet from the nearest stream has no impact on anything. And I said, you need to worry more about what you guys are doing and not what I'm doing. And I took him to his car, and that was the end of it. And it made me kind of feel good to actually, a little victory there. But since that time, a lot of people around here were kind of getting tired of the way the township was doing things. And there was kind of a regime change there a few years later. And they're actually very easy to work with now. They're pretty good people now, and no one has any problems with them. But the point of all this is why I keep talking like this. If you were to read through the comments on some of the videos, the only way we could have a YouTube channel, it would be called Laying on the Couch Napping with the Morgans. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to run into things and little problems here and there, but boy, like just doing that at the end of the driveway down there. I was told I had to go to the post office. I got to check with local authorities, like all these different things. No, you don't have to do that here. Some places maybe you do. Around here, you don't have to. And a matter of fact, that's why we are so in love with the state of West Virginia, where we have property down there, because that is, without a doubt, it could be the freest state out there. It really is. Yeah. I think it might be. But that's why we bought property there. And we look forward to getting a cabin down there in the spring. But anyway, I think that's about it. I'm kind of rambling on, but I hope this gives you some kind of idea what I'm like and what I'm about. You know what I mean? I try to be fair with everyone. I try to be courteous and reasonable, yet sometimes you have to push back a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's still common sense in the world, but sometimes it's up to you to kind of coax it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And just explain to people. I like asking the question again. When they tell you something, you ask them what they're telling you to do. So then they kind of think about it. Boy, that is dumb. You know what I mean? No. Yeah, you're all right. But anyway, I think that's about it. Appreciate y'all being here. Oh, fire starter available. Link in the description. Pinned comment. And if you're local, go to the Wrath Farms. Pick up some meat, some fire starter. And we appreciate you being here. Catch you on the next one.